Hello my dear Baha'i friends, Allah Apa. 1 o'clock, today's 22nd Sunday, and I'm on to the project. We have done up to the line 70 and we're continuing here. So in this line, Baha'u'llah says, بوی مشک آید همین از جعد یار. Bu means a smell, scent, fragrance. It means of. Buye means smell of. Musk, musk. Musk is a substance, anciently in Iran anyways. It comes from a deer called musk deer, I believe. A male musk deer that they would kill the poor animal to get this musk, which is the fragrance, which is the base, I guess. They mix it up with other things. So it's been used in the literature when they want to say how nice the fragrance of anything, a spiritual fragrance. They use the musk. So the fragrance of the musk comes, ayat, hami, repeatedly, again, as from Ja'ad Yar, the hair of the beloved. Ja'ad is Arabic, Persian is mu. There are several names for the hair, several words. One of them I know is Ja'ad, which they use the word muja'ad, means curly hair. So Ja'ad is that curl that's in the hair. But how is this being used in the spiritual theme? It just shows how the cultures evolved, and I guess to them the most beautiful thing was the women. So the men, they started to say that this is an implies the beautiful God. So the scent or the smell or the fragrance of musk comes repeatedly from the curl of the beloved Yar. دست فضلش می کند بر تو نثار. Dast means hand, e means of. Daste means the hands of. Fazl means grace. Fazlash she is the pronoun, means his grace. So the hand of his grace mikonat is giving, doing. Barto, unto you, to. Nesar, sacrifice, means giving it away. Generosity, when you're giving nesar something is when you sacrifice something. Giving. So the smell of the musk comes repeatedly from the hair of the beloved. His hand of the grace giving it unto you. So now as he talks about jad, which means the curl, he goes into the hair again. Baha'u'llah has used the word zulf. Zulf is another word for the hair. But the way my understanding is that in the case of women, zulf is that part of the hair in the front that kind of moves with the wind or breeze or something in the front hair. Frontal hair would be zulf. Gisu is when the hair is long and falls onto the shoulder. The one side of that hair is called the gisu. Mu is the actual hair. So mu is hair, gisu is the one side of the long hair falling down. In the case of women, that's called gisu. It's not used for man. And zulf is also mostly used for the woman, is the frontal hair. So now he's trying to explain this. Zulfe'u, his or hair, hamchon, like, Samandar bin lok benar. So Zolf means the front of her, U is him, Hamchon like. Samandar, in dictionary they say salamander, but even if that is the case biologically, but this is an ancient bird. It's a part of the mythology. Persians, well, you guys probably in English language, they have few legendary birds. One of them is Simorq. Simorq is the bird, is a legendary bird that if you burn one of the feather of one of its feather, it would come back to help you, as it is the case in the Shahnameh. Then there is Homa, which is phoenix, the bird that rises out of his ash. Simorq would be translated in English, I believe, as griffin. But now we have Samandar. Samandar would be really the dragon that you have. Your dragon, one opens its mouth, that could just a lot of fire comes out of the mouth. Griffin, Samandar is also that kind of a animal, legendary, that the original word definitely is Greek, but it's a bird that, it's a kind of a bird that lives in the fire. If you get it out of the fire, it dies. So one has to go to see where such bird is in the mythology of the Greek. That is the bird that has been used in the Persian literature. So Samandar, proper translation would have been the firebird, the bird of fire, the firebird, because it lives in the fire. So Baha'u'llah says his frontal hair, it is like the firebird to the fire. You know how acts Samandar to the fire? The Samandar eats fire. It's a firebird. It lives into the fire. He says his hair is just like a Samandar in the fire. Ku means, it's the abbreviation of Ke-u, that he. Ku, so it's Ke-u. H and A is omitted. Ke, that, u, he. Ke-u becomes ku. That he repeatedly, hami, gardat, circumambulates, circles, rotates. Benar, to the fire of the face of the beloved. So it says, look his hair, frontal hair, just like a samandar, the firebird within the fire, that he repeatedly turns around to the fire of the face of the beloved. So the fire, which is essentially a negative word in the Sufism, as opposed to nur. Nur means light, fire means nar means fire, and fire means fire of the hell. It's a chastisement, fire. But in the Baha'i faith, fire is used also to explain the highest level of heat of love. That's fiery. As in English we use say fiery love. So, and by the way, Samandar is the name of a very beautiful Baha'i who's been hands of the cause of God. Tarazullah Samandari. He was one of the 27 hands of the cause that was still alive after Shogi Effendi. And I think him originally and his children also, they became hands of the cause. I'm not very sure. So Baha'u'llah calls him Samandar, the firebird. There are probably a couple of books of the answers that Baha'u'llah has written to him. So very much you could say this line is about him. He says, if you want to know the frontal hair of the beloved, look at Mr. Samandar, who's just like a fire. He just circumambulates wherever his hair goes, which is the wish and the beauty and the wind and the fire as it goes. So it's a statement of the exuberance of a Baha'i who is, going to the height of their spirituality, that is so active. It just goes all the way around continuously. Wherever this fire takes him, it's just, the fire goes this way, goes that way. That line is this. I'm not very satisfied for my own explanation. There could be some more explanation. Leave it to other people in the future to do it. The third line says, Andalib Qudsi az Hijran Doost. Andalib, we discussed it last time. Andalib is the Arabic word for bulbul or nightingale. Qudsi means sanctified, holy. The holy nightingale from separation, Hijran of Doost, friend, which is God. So in the Hijran, which is the separation of Doost, which is the friend, and Dalib, the nightingale, Qudsi, the holy nightingale, from the separations of the friend, Nale ha darat, has many moaning. Nale means moaning, but also it's not exactly moaning. Is a lot of word that comes, complaints from the separation, of love. Those type of word. Nale essentially means moaning, out of pain, basically. Nale ha darat. He has a lot of painful song, moaning. Ke that suzad, burns, consumes. Magz post. Magz really means brain. Post means the skin. But magz also is the inside of the nut. If you get an almond or a walnut, the outside is called post, skin. Inside is called magz, which means the edible part. So this got a very nice implication. He says this Andalib Qudsi. This Andalib also, I think, is actual letters to the Andalib is a reference to Mr. Samandar. Yeah. So this Andalib Qudsi, this holy nightingale from the Hijran, separation of the friend, has a lot of moaning and complaining. Darat has that consumes both inside and outside, which means it bears my heart and also consumes my body. Magzapus means outside and inside, the soul and body. Simile for the mags for inside, which is the soul, post, which is the outside, the skin, which is the body. It says inside and outside is burning from his mourning that he has from his separation from the friend. Now this is something worthy of thinking and contemplation. Now continues with the same Andalib. It says, Gerz derde hijr khod ahi keshad. Gar means agar, a is omitted. Gar, if, ze, from, dard, pain, e, of. F from the pain of, own, its own, his own. Khod means own, self. Hijr. Hijr means separation. Hijra means separation of self. Ahi, one sigh. Keshad, keshiden means just to sigh. Now, the same nightingale that is separated from the friend, and he has this moaning that burns inside and outside of anyone, it says, if this andalib, the nightingale, goes on because of the pain of the separation, he has just a sigh. That sigh of him, شعله‌ام در جان خاصان افکند. Lord, this sigh of this nightingale, who has this pensive melody and the moaning from his separation of the friend, if comes and brings one sigh, one ah means sigh, what will it do? شعله‌ام در جان خاصان افکند. It will inflame. شعله means flame. Inflames within the soul of the khasan. شعله افکند means cast the flame, cast, ablazes. And dar means inside, jan means soul, khasan. This is now a very controversial word. We have khas and am. Am means general, all of us. Khas is a specific. You have read that in the Book of Certitude. Baha'u'llah talks about specific revelations and the general revelation. General revelation, he says, is everywhere. But a specific revelation is only for the prophets of God. They are called khas. So this is a huge discussions in the Sufism and mysticism. They talk about khalas, khasan, those special people, Baha'u'llah says, it will inflame, ablaze, the soul of the khasan. Let's discuss what this khasan means. Because the way this has been used in the Islamic way, mysticism, there's no intention of Baha'u'llah to call some people khas and some people am. We have definitely only 4 khas in the Baha'i faith. Nobody else is. And the first one is the Bab. That body of Mirza Ali Muhammad, the Bab, that body, entire soul was specifically made for that purpose. Nobody else could do it. The next is Baha'u'llah, the body and the soul and the entire existence of Mirza Hussein Ali is the only one that can take this mission. God specifically has used him. His existence was planned from the very beginning. Then is Abdul Baha, then is Shoghi Effendi. So when it comes to the individual, we're only 4, no others. The Bab, the Baha'u'llah, Abdul Baha and Shoghi Effendi, 4. But there are specific positions, not individual. Their Bab had 18 specific positions. It's called letters of the living. This position is khas, is a specific, is a special. Not the individual bearing it. They are if they stick to it. Baha'u'llah says that. They are if letters of the living or whatever Bab told about them is applicable to them. If they stay on their seat. If not, no. Another group of people that are specific, again, position, not the individual. They are the hands of the cause of God. This is in a specific position. The people that are called hands of the cause, they are not any special people. It's simply, it was applicable for those people to do the job. For example, Baha'u'llah, let's say, wants to send somebody to China, and there are hundreds of people here. One of them speaks Chinese, but he doesn't know much about the faith. Baha'u'llah, intellectually, I don't know, logically probably will choose him because he can speak the language. He might accompany him with somebody else. And because he can handle the job. But this is just an example. In the case of Musa Banani, which is one of the hands of the cause of God from the Jewish descent. He couldn't speak even English. Shoghi Effendi sent him to Africa, so I can't speak. You go there because your soul is required there in that environment. So people, letters of the living or hands of the cause are not a special. They can falter. Their position is a special. Okay. The third group of the people that are a special in the Baha'i faith are the elders of God. Elders' position again is specific for the 5 elders, but the people that are serving there as an elder, they're not any different from any other people. If you call elders or hands of the cause or letters of the living just because of their title, better, higher, different from the other people, you have gone wrong in your philosophy about the faith of God. Shoghi Effendi clearly says in the dispensation of Baha'u'llah, at the very end, when he talks about the administration, he says the future guardians, which are otherwise the elders, are simply ordinary people, he says. They just have the talent of carrying a responsibility. Okay? So this Khasan is not a specific fellow that he comes and says, okay, now I am this and everyone to listen to me. There are only 4 in the Baha'i faith, nobody else's. Okay. Now we have to then define what Khasan, which are specials, is as opposed to the Umum, which is general. Baha'u'llah continues. I'm going to go on this more. He says again, very specifically again, he says, غیر خاصان را نباشد زین نصیب. Those who are not special. غیر means not. غیر خاص means not specials. Not specials. Nasib means partake. He says, غیر خاص means none. You have to say غیر, the translation of غیر would be properly is none. Non-specials are not, نباشد, of this partake. He says these awe that, inflames the soul of these specials, of the people, of these special people, and only those can partake from this. Then at the end he prays. He says, "Wa magir az lutf in fazle habib." Do not deprive, wa magir, do not deprive from the grace, from your lot, from your favor. Do not deprive of the favor, this grace, O a habib, friend. Habib, Arabic word for yar. Yar means habib. Okay, beloved. So, do not deprive of favor this grace in this fazl grace, O habib, beloved. What are we talking about in this 4 lines? I'm going to repeat the subject. Yeah, we have to get to the bottom of it. The holy nightingale, from the separation of the beloved, has pensive moaning and melodies that consumes and burns away inside and outside. If from the pain of the separation, his separation, he sighs, have a sigh, it will inflame the soul of all the specials. Non-specials have no partake of this. Do not deprive this favor, do not deprive of favor this grace, O Habib. Baha'u'llah is talking about special people can take this. Who's the special? Baha'u'llah is deciding they're special? No. It's against Baha'i philosophy. Who's deciding the specials? People are deciding their specials by electing somebody to go to the universal laws of justice, or universal laws of justice is choosing certain person to become a counselor or whatnot. No. In fact, a member of the universal laws of justice or counselor and board member, according to a specific text of Shaykh Effendi, are no different from any other Baha'is. I heard one of them, because they think people are so much relying and trusting this universal laws of justice. I heard one of the members was trying to say, give themselves some kind of a special, status, in a sense of their spirituality and whatnot. I will claim today, and I stand in my claim in front of Baha'u'llah and in front of the population, the members of the universal laws of justice are less, relatively, than every other Baha'i in the world. Because they're elected for so many years. They have not done their jobs. I'm not condemning them. I am not saying they're bad. I don't know they're bad and good. But one thing I can observe and see, they have not done their jobs. I can furnish a lot of things to say that had to be done. They have not done that. Are they lazy? I don't know. Are they arrogant? I hope not. I've seen people like Mr. Fatah Azam, a very humble, nice guy. I have seen Don Barr, very beautiful man, And I've seen some other ones who think they're hobnob and snotty. I've seen them too. But then that comes with territory. We people are like that. And not necessarily all our life we are nasty and, bad. Sometimes we change. Therefore, we can't judge nobody. But we can judge what a person says and what a person does. That's our responsibility. Not why he does. That's his business. Who he is and where we end to, we don't know. So many Baha'is, they can go to hell right now as they are Baha'i, and so many other enemies they might turn into Baha'i faith at the end of their life. We don't know. But what we see right now, that the member of universal laws of justice have nothing to do except being the member. They have not done jobs. Why aren't all the writing of Baha'u'llah translated in English? Why aren't all of them categorized properly? Why there is mistake in the translation of the tablet of wisdom? Clearly the man says that the nature of God is the will of God. Well, that's communism. Nature of God is not the will of God. The will of God creates the nature of God. You can't say the nature is the will of God, but that's what the translation is. And the tablet of wisdom, it says that brings all the name of all the philosophers like Plato for Aflatun. In Arabic and Persian we call him Aflatun. In English you say Plato. To Aristotle we say Arastu. You say Aristotle. But when it comes to Apollonius, which we call him Belinas, and the tablet of wisdom, he says Belinas, because the guy didn't know that Belinas stands for Apollonius. He didn't know it. How is it that you put the English equals for the Aristotle and Plato and everybody else and not for Belinas? Because he didn't know it. Same person is translated. He did not. His English is great, thousands times better than me, but his understanding of the cause is not good enough. Why is that there? Why there isn't a system such as this to teach thousands of scholars that they have to come out of the Anglo-Saxon race? Class a system right on the internet to have to teach them Persian language so they can have access to the originals. So many years has passed. Why should only Persian they know the language, which they don't, by the way, know, because most of the writings of Baha'u'llah especially is in Arabic, and many Persians they don't know it. Many. And even it's writing like that, even this writing they can't read and write. I've seen them every day. So maybe the English people, they come in. They read the language as they have done. Tremendous work, the English people, in every language they have done. Isn't that Edward G. Brown has written the history of the Persian literature in Persian language? So, but it's not accommodated. They are not accommodating them to do it. Why aren't all the writings of Baha'u'llah is not on the internet? Why isn't everything is open? Because they say, oh, it's not good to come now. They clearly say, oh, there are certain things. They wrote a letter to me. Oh, one of the elders was not revealed his name by Shoghi Effendi to people of the West. Why? He's the one who built the temple, Baha'i temple in Russia, in Ashgabat, the first Baha'i temple. Shoghi Effendi has not revealed his name to the Baha'is in the West. Why wouldn't he? What's the special occasions? So they're charging Shoghi Effendi with discriminations? What is going on? I know what's going on. It's because the universal house of guardianship has to be there. You see? There has to be a pair if you want democracy. If you want creation of God, if you don't want dictatorship. This is the philosophy in the Baha'i faith. God is one. Everything below him has to be two. Minimum, two. Two houses. Even the prophets, Bab and Baha'u'llah, there are two. Muhammad and Ali, there's two. Jesus, and John the Baptist. Moses and Aaron, Adam and Eve. Every time there's two. That has to manifest itself in the Baha'i administration in the form of universal laws of guardianship and universal laws of justice. It's not. And then they come and do all of these things. So they are not doing their job. I'm very unhappy with all of them. And they're calling me infidels and the enemy of Baha'u'llah. I'm not complaining of myself. They may call me anything they want. Okay? It's very hard to say what I am anyways. So what is this khasan, the business here? You have to decide if you are special or not. Nobody else can decide for you. But there is such a thing as the specials. You can, according to the seven valleys, go right to become the manifestation of God, the general manifestation of God. You can become. You can have revelation from God. None of it pertains to getting rid of the Baha'i faith, because there's one God. If God just brought the Baha'i faith, the same God is not going to come to tell you that you get rid of it naturally, till the time comes. But general revelation is open to everybody. So you have to decide if you want to be a special or not. Yes, if you decide to give your money, your time to learn Baha'i faith, to go spread it around the world like Martha Ruth, you become a special, of course. But God did not decide for Martha Ruth to have a pre-existence that she only will be this. We cannot do it. That is not acceptable at all. This is why in the Baha'i faith, miracles are not performed. Because if God performs miracle by Baha'u'llah, then we say that, sure, if you can turn, copper into the gold, or you can prevent this, or you can see this thing, of course you could do what you're doing, Baha'u'llah. I would have done it too if I had your power. But he does not demonstrate any of those power. He purposely tried to act and be and God, the actual Baha'u'llah, which this one is only a manifestation of, is living exactly in the parameters of the humanity and human being, not more. Because there's no excuse for anybody else that I cannot follow you. There's nothing special power as such. No. You have to decide to be a special or not. However, if you are that special, you will have that flame. Your soul will be inflamed. If Baha'u'llah, just one ah. The ah here, it means his revelation itself. The new Baha'is come into the Baha'i faith. The other Baha'is who are not teaching, they treat him so badly. A Baha'i teacher sitting on the other side, he knows because he suffered, worked his butts off to get this person to come into the faith. So he knows how difficult it is to have a Baha'i, to guide him towards God. So if somebody, he's inflamed, you see, that is what he has, Baha'u'llah says, he has the flame in him. And he has the special, he knows how hard it is to get a Baha'i. So he treats all the Baha'is in a very utmost respectful ways, loving ways. So this issue of khasan, because some of the Persian Baha'is, a lot of time they say, oh, he's a khas, she's a khas, Tahira is a khas, a special. No, Tahira decided to be a special. Nobody helped her and gave her any hand, any boost, nothing like that. If the moment you say that, then you're saying God is discriminating against certain people. If God is boosting, giving a special boost to me or whatever, then, what's the meaning of the heaven or hell or anything else? It can't be. No, it can't be. It can't be at all. Even the special training, the spiritual training. I had this discussion with somebody. You cannot train a person to be a special. Why? Because a spirituality means to be kind, to love, not to hate, not to be jealous. Be brave, be giving, be humble. These things doesn't come with training, my friends. It's the decisions that you make. You may be the smartest man in the world, all the knowledge, all the money, all the information, to be the very son of Baha'u'llah, but you're not deciding to be a spiritual. You go right down to hell, as some of his children were. It's in the history. It's a personal decisions to do a spiritual thing. No one can interfere in that. I've discussed that with you before in a few videos. Baha'u'llah says, that part is of me, inhuman. I have given him a code and a lock. It's called willpower. He puts his will in there and lock it, and me, the God of heaven, I don't know what this man is going to do. He doesn't know. Baha'u'llah does not know what you're going to do. Somebody brought an apple in front of Imam Ali, which is the successors of Muhammad, told him that, is my destiny to eat the apple or not? Ali told him, if you eat it, it's your destiny. If you don't eat it, it's not your destiny. That means it's the pure decision making. That's the willpower there. Yeah, you can train a person to become a musician. Any material things you can, it has the elasticity. It's tensile. You can make it to become a lot of things a man. We can adapt to be many things. But a spiritual, no. There's nothing like that. Only 4 people. The Bab, the Baha'u'llah, Shoghi Effendi, and Abdul Baha. They're 4 infallible beings. Nobody else is. Everybody has decided to be where they are. And this is what the whole odyssey is. I hope it was useful. See you again.